Good day. It's time for my weekly update. Today, I have a number of emotions to share with you. Anticipation, some anxiety, some sadness, but I want to end with determination and hope. We've all been waiting for Governor DeWine to make his announcement on how and when schools will be reopening. It may be a little bit longer than I at first anticipated. In the meantime, we continue to engage and advocate for, first and foremost, protecting the health and safety of our members, of our students, and of people in our communities. We want clear guidance. We want decisions that are going to be informed by what is best in terms of public health, and we need to make sure that schools have time to prepare for a variety of contingencies that are going to meet the needs of educators and students. It's critical that all of us are involved in those conversations, that we are protecting our collective bargaining rights, that we're using collective bargaining as a way to creatively solve problems. And it's important that we also protect collective bargaining and our rights when it comes to changes in terms and conditions of employment. We have a team of OEA governance and staff members who are working on a parallel set of guidance once we have a little bit more clarity from the state that provides direction in terms of how locals can advocate around the employment needs, around the educational needs of our members and students. So be looking for that. Next week on Wednesday, June 10th, we are planning a telephone town hall where we will be inviting all OEA members, teachers, ESPs, people from higher ed, K-12, everyone in our membership to have a conversation about where we are, what our priorities for reopening schools, and we're inviting State Superintendent Paolo DeMaria to be part of that conversation. Be on the lookout for more details on that, and I hope you and all of the members that you work with will be able to participate in that call. Now, of course, the events of this past week have been disheartening in a lot of ways. If you're like me, you were outraged when you saw the video of George Floyd being killed in Minneapolis. I'm sure if you're like me, you found it disturbing and disheartening that a lot of peaceful protest has been turned violent by inappropriate reaction by police, and turned violent by a small number of people that want to take advantage of the situation to make things worse. We stand in solidarity with the protesters. We know that the situation in Minneapolis is indicative of a systemic problem that we have with racism in this country. And we as an organization, and we as educators in particular, are uniquely positioned to do something about it. Our OEA Board of Directors made a decision recently to make addressing social and racial justice one of the 4 strategic priorities of this organization. And while we continue to define what that means and identify how we're going to measure our progress, know that the events of this week are forefront in our minds as we think about how we can do what's best for our communities and our students in our advocacy moving forward. I'll end on a positive note. This is an uplifting note, and that is that the Ohio House of Representatives voted on an overwhelming bipartisan basis late last week to pass House Bill 239, the Testing Reduction Act. We know that there are lots of pressures that suck the joy of teaching and learning out of our classrooms, out of our interactions with students. This is an important step forward to move closer to federal minimums on state testing requirements, but also impose accountability at the local level to make sure that we're not using standardized testing in ways that aren't best for kids. We need the Senate to act on that. Encourage you to contact your senators, encourage them to vote for House Bill 239 while we continue to advocate for resources that we need during this time of crisis. Thank you for all you're doing. I hope that you'll be able to participate in our telephone town hall next Wednesday, June 10th.